Hello.
Hello. Is this the Berserker Blóthar I'm speaking with?
It is.
How's it going?
Pretty good.
Well, thanks a lot for donating some of your time to puny human mortals such as myself. I appreciate it.
Hey, not a problem. I've got nothing but time here.
Perfect. I was going to ask you actually if, since I wasn't sure if you guys like experience the space-time-continuum the same way as humans do, so I just wanted to double check that 20 or 25.
Absolutely. Yes, we do not experience it the same.
Okay. I didn't think so.
We're like turtles.
Turtles are, is it bumblebees too, maybe, that experience it? Maybe I'm thinking of flies. I can't remember. Okay. So maybe just to start off too, we'll just dive right in. I got to shout out my buddy Shawn. He's a massive GWAR fan, and he dragged me all the way to Montreal to check you guys out a number of years ago. And I thought maybe it'd be kind of fun if you could do me the pleasure of just telling Shawn to go fuck himself.
Shawn, go fuck yourself. This is Blothar from GWAR, and I'm telling you, get fucked.
And if you had the chance to kill Shawn on stage, could you like describe maybe how you would personally destroy him?
Well, I would probably start by yanking his little dick off. Just grab it and just pull on it, and not in a pleasant way at all. I'd stretch it out and then wrap it around his own neck and then drag him across the floor and then beat him to death with his, just grab him by the foot and beat him to death on the ground like a gorilla. Imagine a gorilla.
Sounds like there'd be a little bit of pleasure first, and then the death after the pleasure.
It's not a lot of pleasure, man. I mean, yeah.
Well, you don't know Shawn, so
right. I mean, just being touched. If Shawn just loves attention, even if it's abuse, then maybe it would be something he'd get something out of. But yeah, just think of a gorilla. I mean, can you imagine a worse death, being thrown into a cage with a gorilla that just rips you to shreds, playing with you, like dragging you around by the foot?
That would be pretty, you'd be kind of reduced to the base instincts of a play toy for someone's amusement.
That's right.
Kind of GWAR's motto with the human race, I guess, maybe, or your mission. So the new EP coming out, The Return of Gor-Gor, comes out July 25th. That's right around the corner.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a comic book attached to that. So what comes first, the music or the visuals?
Well, in our case, the visuals are always going to outweigh the music in people's perceptions. But GWAR's a rock and roll band. We're a heavy metal band and a punk rock band. And that's first and foremost what we are. So we've got really, in this case, I think oftentimes the lyrics and the idea for a song will come together by listening to it and saying, that's an exercise I do. What does it sound like? What does this? And that's how we got the Great Circus Train Disaster, because it sounded a little bit like a train, a little bit, but it was definitely circusy. And so we wanted to build that in there a little bit. And that was the inspiration for that. The music for the Tyrant King, that was already done before we put the vocals on, or put the lyrics to it. So usually the music comes first, even in a band like GWAR. And then we work on it until we get it sounding as if someone is going to die or someone is dying. And then we know that it's cooked, it's ready, it's done. There you go.
Cool.
It's good for you to listen to.
Okay, so do the guys kind of give you the riffs beforehand, and then you feel out the lyrics and the vocals, or does that kind of like all happen together in one sort of like mishmash process?
It changes. Sometimes it happens all at the same time. But no, I usually just write lyrics and come up with a melody based on what they're working on.
And what kind of like led to, like, what kind of inspired Gor-Gor to be resurrected or rediscovered after so many years kind of missing?
Well, it's the 40th anniversary, and Gor-Gor has always been a part of GWAR. He's always been there. He's always, if you look at the very first photograph of GWAR, Gor-Gor's there. And that back in 1985. So Gor-Gor's been around and a part of what we do. So having the 40th anniversary, it made sense to bring him back. And also, you know, you can really hang a story on Gor-Gor. It's a good character, a great character. And, in this case, the Great Circus Train Disaster is just such a narrative tune musically, right? It's got there's a lot of stuff happening in it. And really, once that song came together lyrically, that gave us the direction for the other songs, right? We knew that we wanted to have it. I thought it would be funny if you have, you know, Gor-Gor's a lot lizard, right? So he's out there trying to make his money. And the Great Circus Train Disaster is a little bit like Dumbo or something, right? Like we kill Gor-Gor's mother, in the train disaster, even though, you know, so that relies on the comic a little bit to tell that story. But once we had that together, the idea of a young dinosaur trying to make his way in the world and becoming a lot lizard and then finally just raging against GWAR and trying to kill us, take revenge on us. That's, you know, it all just falls into place. Mm-hmm. I think probably the origin story of the Great Circus Train Disaster is the most interesting because we went to a vampire museum in Pennsylvania. And at that museum, you could see all the things that they had used over the years to kill vampires. There was a big collection of devices that were real devices that people had made even hundreds of years ago. And there were stories of a Ouija board there that had been on board and had survived this train wreck. And one of the clowns said that he was the only one that survived, one clown. And he said that they had been performing a seance and that suddenly they were destroyed. Their train, this old shitty wooden circus train, was hit by a World War I troop train that was, you know, new and fast and just didn't see them and plowed into them. And that imagery really struck me, like just a fire on board and the clowns are trying to put it out with their little squirty bulbs, you know, the flowers on their lapels, like just honking their horns and screaming silently, unable to ask for help. Like, plus there was a great story about a woman she's just hanging her laundry and suddenly a tiger bounds over a split rail fence in Ohio and rips her to shreds. I love it. So, yeah, I just started researching circus train disasters, and it turns out there was quite a few of them.
Interesting. That's not a topic I would have ever thought to even think about, circus train disasters, but they would make for some pretty funny pileups.
Yeah, definitely. And some awful ones too. I mean, apparently there's a graveyard at the site of this wreck that has, you know, they didn't have any of their, like some of them, they didn't have their names. It was in the 19th century. So, there's a long, well, no, not 19th century. I guess it would have been, because it was a World War I troop train. It would have been 1914 or something like that.
That's wild. Yeah. And I guess there would have been a bunch of animals probably on board as well.
Yeah, I know. And that's the awful part.
Yeah.
GWAR doesn't like killing animals. We'll kill humans any day of the week.
Yeah. Humans can be sacrificed.
Yeah.
So that kind of inspired the return of Gor-Gor. So Gor-Gor is going to be on the road with you guys throughout this tour?
Yes. And let me tell you something. He's a lot of trouble on a tour bus.
Yeah, I was going to wonder how he must have his own, like, how do you bring him along? He must have his own vehicle. He must need his.
Yeah. He follows behind us in an electric car.
So he's conscious of the oncoming climate disaster.
Yeah, of course.
That sounds appropriate. How do you choose? So with the EP, there's three new tunes and some live recordings. How do you choose from your vast catalog? Like, how did you guys narrow down the tracks, the live tracks for the release?
We just had some songs that we knew we wanted to put out that were, we had gotten good recordings of everything on the tour previous, and we had brought back America Must Be Destroyed. We felt like it was a good time to revisit that song. And, you know, we put out an EP before, for The Road Behind that was really funny and that kind of entered the GWAR lore. And we were hoping that this one would do the same. It's got the greatest thing about GWAR is the skits, right? The stuff that happens between songs. And so this one we really focused on that, and there's some funny moments on it, and, you know, but it sounds really good. It's the band's playing really well and rocking out, and it's great to have Grotesque in the mix.
Did Grotesque bring some new ideas to these to the new tracks on the release?
Yeah, and that's actually how we picked them. I mean, you asked how we picked. We just sort of listened back to the recordings, and plus we knew which songs had been good and which had been funny on the tour. Which skits. So we wanted to put that on this thing. Influenced by Primus. You know, Primus, wasn't their first album a live record?
I'm not 100% sure, to be honest. My first record for them was Pork Soda, so I'm not super familiar with their timeline of their discography.
Yeah. I think they did a live EP first.
Okay. So did you guys record multiple shows like night after night and then kind of pick out the best performance and / funniest skit?
Yeah, exactly.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. That's exciting. So will you be recording this tour as well? Is that something that's kind of part of the routine?
Yeah, we always do. It's easy these days, easier than it used to be, because, now everything's going through the board, and all you got to do is pop, just turn the disc on every night.
Yeah, it's not like you need a dedicated vehicle carrying a tape-based recording studio anymore.
Not anymore.
That's really cool. Okay. Well, maybe if we can just for fun here, think about like the song America Must Be Destroyed, and like kind of like probably the inevitable collapse of the US dollar. Are you guys positioning GWARcoin to kind of take over as the next world reserve currency? Is that kind of part of the game plan?
That would be great. But no, unfortunately, we don't think that far ahead. Right now, GWARcoin is just a way of, you can think of it like imagine a pornographic Chuck E. Cheese where you go in and you get tokens and you take them around and you get to see obscene things with your big $5 wooden nickel. That's what GWARcoin is.
That's what
we're trying to bring back coins, like actual coins.
Uh-huh.
But the collapse of the dollar. Oh boy.
We don't. It's just it might be a good time for fans. GWAR fans already have GWARcoins, but anyone else might be able to get it on the ground floor. That's all I was thinking.
You're in Canada?
I'm in Canada. Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So if Americans invade, I hope GWAR might be on the front lines, or that you'll be on Canada's side. We don't need to.
Canada has the most wonderful strip clubs in the universe, so that part.
You'll be on the side of Montreal on Canada.
Yeah. I mean, of course, I have been calling, and I have evidence of this. I've been calling for Canada to invade the United States for a long, long time. I'm telling you, they're a paper tiger.
Uh-huh.
You could just march right in.
That's happened once before, hasn't it? The War of 1812. I think Canada may have burned down the White House or something at that year.
That would be great. And yeah, in Mexico too. I mean, like for that matter, we're surrounded. It is true that Hitler tried to convince Mexico to join World War II against the United States. That would have been hilarious.
Interesting times, that's for sure. So with every purchase of so I should say that the comic book comes with physical release of the record. Are you doing like vinyls, tapes, and CDs, or are you just kind of sticking to, like, what's your preferred physical format these days?
Well, vinyl is what everybody wants. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we do vinyl, and then we do, it's really funny how vinyl has become just the sort of physical representation of a release. We still do a lot of physical product, a lot of CDs that come out. So, and we have occasionally done cassettes. I don't know if we're doing them for this one.
Okay. Yeah, vinyl kind of provides, especially with like GWAR's artwork style and just artwork in general, like vinyl's probably a nice way to showcase the artwork, the art side of things.
It is, yeah, indeed. And a comic worked really well for this little, and we got the square comic for it's good stuff, man.
Mm-hmm. And then you're hitting the road pretty extensively in October, November.
Yeah.
Any, I think I saw you guys came out here in like 2009 or 2010. Any chance of Atlantic Canada getting another round of GWAR?
I mean, we're coming. There's going to be a lot of Canadian dates on the fall tour. I don't know that we'll be back to the Montreal area for a little while. I would expect we'd have another release because, I mean, we just played there. So
okay,
it'll be a little while before we play there again. But yeah,
I'm actually even further east. I'm like 12 hours away from heading toward, like, I'm like halfway between Montreal and Halifax, kind of.
Right. Yeah. Well, there's some good, I mean, we've played somewhere on the eastern coast of Canada. I can't remember where. I don't know. We love it. We love it up there.
For sure. Yeah. There's videos from like in Moncton and Halifax, which is kind of right in our zone.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. You've got good dairy.
Good dairy. Actually, the town I grew up in was called Dairy Town.
There you go.
It's Sussex, New Brunswick. Yeah. That's fun. Right. Okay. Well, maybe we can end this off on a fun note too, because this is a question I've been debating or been pondering. Like if GWAR, or if you personally had the ability to kind of like resurrect one person from history, just to have the ability to kill them night after night, show after show, is there anyone at the top of that list?
One person from history. You know, everybody immediately goes after Hitler. Mm-hmm. And that's, for some reason, the second time we've mentioned Hitler in this interview, which seems weird to me. But I'm not going to say Hitler. I'm going to go all the way back to Kaiser Wilhelm. That's who I'd kill.
Kaiser Wilhelm.
Yeah, just because I'd like to. Or Archduke Ferdinand. That's. I'll take that guy.
Okay.
Smack him around a little bit.
Would you toy with him first? You know, play with him like a gorilla or like a cat batting around.
Of course. Yeah, exactly. Gorilla him.
Gorilla him. Yeah, that's great. Okay, well, it sounds like he probably would deserve it. So that would kind of be his. What's that called? You know, where you're stuck in not hell specifically, but the layer
limbo.
Yeah, limbo. So just stuck in GWAR limbo.
Yeah,
getting tortured for eternity.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's awesome. Well, I'm looking forward to the release of the EP. I know my buddy Shawn's anxiously waiting for it too on July 25th. And
nice.
Yeah, I really appreciate you giving me some Earth minutes to me today, Mr.
No
Blothar.
problem.
Great. All right.
You take it easy.
You too. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it. Have a great day.
All right. Bye.
See ya.